The luminous flow. Unlocking the true secret of meditation. What if everything you've been told about meditation is just the first, most difficult step, and the real magic lies in what comes next? This isn't a modern self-help koan, but a profound insight embedded in an ancient science of the mind, one that distinguishes the hard work of concentration from the effortless reward of true meditation. We all know the feeling. The mind is a restless field of whirlpools, waves, and oscillations of thought. In the ancient language of yoga, these mental fluctuations are called vrittis. They are the constant churn of memory, emotion, and projection that defines our inner world. According to the ancient masters, this default human condition leads to a state of dukkha, a deep and pervasive dissatisfaction. The problem isn't the waves themselves, but our assimilation with the modifications. The true self, the seer within, mistakenly identifies with the transient vrittis, believing we are our thoughts. In doing so, we lose sight of the calm, clear ocean beneath. Over 2,000 years ago, a sage named Patañjali compiled a text known as the Yoga Sutras. This was not a mystical scripture, but a precise scientific manual for the exploration and mastery of consciousness. Its goal, stated with audacious clarity in its second verse, is nothing less than yogaschita vritti nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind stuff. When this stilling of the mind is finally achieved, the text makes a wondrous promise. Then the seer is established in his own essential and fundamental nature. In that silence, for the first time, we can discover who we truly are beneath the noise. But how does this ancient science propose we achieve such an impossible-sounding goal? It begins not with sitting on a cushion, but by building a foundation for a remarkable inner journey. Patanjali's method is a masterfully designed, sequential blueprint for self-discovery known as the eight-limbed path, or Ashtanga Yoga. Its genius lies in its strategic progression. The path doesn't ask you to immediately confront the chaos of your mind. Instead, it prepares you from the outside in, moving methodically from the gross to the subtle, ensuring that the final, delicate inner journey is not only possible, but inevitable. The foundation of character, Yama and Niyama. The journey begins not with the body, but with character. The first two limbs are the yamas, restraints like nonviolence and truthfulness, and the niyamas, observances like contentment and self-study. These are not merely moral rules, but essential psychological prerequisites. A mind agitated by deceit, consumed by desire, or plagued by discontent is, by definition, a field of disruptive mental waves. To attempt deep meditation in such a state is futile. You cannot conduct a sensitive experiment in a chaotic and contaminated laboratory. These first two steps are about purifying the mind to create a stable inner environment. Mastering the vessel, asana. Only with a stable ethical foundation does the path turn to the physical body. In the classical context, the purpose of asana, posture, is singular and specific, to make the body so steady and comfortable, sthira sukham, that it can be completely forgotten. It is not about exercise, but about eliminating the body as a source of distraction. The goal is to refine the body's intelligence until it becomes a perfectly still and silent vessel, allowing the mind to turn inward without interruption. It is like a sculptor carving a perfectly stable base before beginning the delicate work on the statue itself. Harnessing the energy, pranayama. With a steady body, the practitioner moves to pranayama, breath control, the crucial bridge between the physical and the mental. The logic is simple and profound. The ancient yogis observed a direct link. An agitated mind causes irregular, agitated breathing. Therefore, by consciously regulating the breath, one can reverse engineer a state of calm in the mind. It is the first direct intervention into the subtle energies of the nervous system. Like a master sailor calming the chaotic waves on the surface by understanding the deep, steady currents below, the practitioner uses the breath to bring stillness to the mind. The great withdrawal, Pratyahara, the fifth limb, Pratyahara, is the unsung hero of this journey. It is the withdrawal of the senses, the moment the practitioner consciously unplugs from the external world. In an ancient analogy, the commentator Vyasa described it with beautiful precision. Just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs into its shell, the senses cease to function as soon as the mind starts the journey inwards. In our modern world of sensory overload and constant notifications, this practice is about reclaiming control over our attention. This pivot point is a two-step process of immense power. Pratyahara is the negative act of unplugging from the senses, which liberates a tremendous amount of mental energy, or chitta shakti, that was previously dissipated. This sets the stage for the very next limb, which is the immediate positive act of redirecting that entire newly gathered stream of attention onto a single internal point. Pratyahara gathers the mind's scattered light. The next stage focuses it into a beam. With the foundation built, the body still, the energy calm, and the senses turned inward, the practitioner is now ready to begin the true inner voyage, a three-stage journey into the very heart of consciousness. We have now arrived at the core revelation of Patanjali's system. The next three stages, the internal limbs, are where we finally distinguish between the work of meditation and the reward of meditation. Understanding this distinction is the key to unlocking the entire path. Stage 1. The work of concentration, dharana. The sixth limb is dharana, or concentration. This is the stage of active, willful effort. Patanjali defines it as the binding of the mind to a single place. This is the experience most of us mistakenly call meditation, the conscious act of placing our attention on an object, noticing the mind has wandered, and willfully, repeatedly bringing it back. It is a state of fragmented focus, a constant re-engagement with our chosen point of attention. The classical analogy for dharana is a dripping faucet, intermittent, stop-start, and requiring conscious effort to keep it going. Stage 2. The reward of meditation, dhyana. Here is where the magic happens. Dhyana, true meditation, is not something you do, it is a state that arises when concentration is perfected. When the effort of bringing the mind back ceases, a new state emerges on its own. Patanjali defines it as an uninterrupted stream of awareness directed toward the object. The effort is gone. There is only flow. The ancient texts abandon the image of a dripping faucet and replace it with the smooth, consistent pouring of oil or honey from a jar. It is a steady, unbroken, and effortless stream of awareness. This ancient concept corresponds almost perfectly with the modern psychological phenomenon of a flow state, or being in the zone, a state of being completely absorbed, undistracted, and internally connected. The transition is best understood through the analogy of sleep. You cannot force yourself to sleep. You can only create the right conditions, a quiet room, a comfortable bed, a calm mind, and then you must let go and allow sleep to arise naturally. In the same way, a practitioner does the first 6 limbs to create the perfect inner conditions. From that prepared ground, the state of meditative flow, dhyana, emerges on its own. Stage 3. The ocean of oneness, samadhi. The final internal stage is samadhi, or absorption. In the luminous flow of Dhyana, a subtle separation between the observer and the observed still remains. There is still a sense of I am meditating on that. In Samadhi, this final duality dissolves. The sense of self-awareness is lost, and the mind becomes one with the object of meditation. The meditator and the object merge. It is like a great river merging with the ocean, no longer a separate entity, but one and the same with the vastness it has entered. Yet, Patañjali adds a detail of astonishing scientific precision. The sutra states that the mind is as if devoid of its own form, using the crucial qualifier eva, or as if. This means the mind's I-generating function is merely suspended, not destroyed. The instrument of the mind is not annihilated, but has become so perfectly transparent that only the object it is observing shines through. This threefold path is more than just a journey to inner peace. In the hands of a master, it becomes a powerful scientific instrument for exploring the very nature of reality. The three internal limbs, concentration, meditation, and absorption, are not merely a linear sequence to be passed through. Patanjali integrates them into a single, powerful tool for investigation called Samyama. This is the practical application of the entire meditative path, transforming the practitioner from a seeker of peace into a scientist of consciousness. Samyama is the combined discipline of Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. It represents the ultimate skill of a yogi, who can now, at will, move seamlessly from one state to the next to probe deeply into any chosen subject. It is not a mystical power, but an epistemic tool of profound sophistication. Samyama is the yogi's microscope or particle accelerator, a method for directing the full, focused power of consciousness to gain direct, intuitive knowledge. The Yoga Sutras becomes, in effect, a lab manual listing the results of applying Samyama to different objects. The purpose of developing such a powerful instrument is to know. Patanjali states the result of this mastery with beautiful simplicity in Sutra. Tajayat prajna alokaha. By mastering it, tajayat, the light of wisdom, prajna alokaha, dawns. The ultimate goal of the practice is not just to be calm, but to see clearly. It is an active, investigative path to understanding the fundamental nature of reality from the inside out. And then, just as we grasp the awesome power of this internal toolkit, Patanjali presents a stunning and profound paradox. After carefully defining Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi as the internal path, he reveals that even this powerful, integrated tool of Samyama is considered external to the final state of total liberation. This is because Samyama still relies on an object, a seed upon which to focus. It is the most advanced vehicle for the journey, but eventually, to reach the final destination, you must step out of the vehicle itself. But to begin this profound journey, to focus this powerful microscope, the mind needs a place to start, an object to rest its attention upon. Patanjali was a master scientist, but he was also a pragmatic teacher. He understood that this path is difficult and that the human mind is fraught with challenges. He therefore provides a clear diagnosis of the problems we all face and a direct prescription for their solution: the 9 roadblocks. In Sutra 130, Patanjali lists 9 timeless obstacles, or antarayas, that block our progress. They are as relevant today as they were 2 millennia ago. Sickness, vyadi, of the body. Mental dullness, dhyana, or stagnation. Doubt, samsaya, in the practice or oneself. carelessness, pramada, or negligence, laziness, alasya, and sloth, sensual indulgence, avirati, and craving, false perception, bhranti darshana, or delusion, failure to progress, alabdha bhumikatva, or gain ground, and instability, anavastititvani, and the inability to maintain focus once it's achieved. These internal roadblocks manifest as clear, experiential symptoms. Patañjali lists them as the companions to a distracted mind: pain, dukkha, and suffering; depression, dormanasya; despair, and sadness; anxiety, angamejayatva; restlessness, and a trembling body; and irregular breathing, shwasa prashwasaha. This list powerfully reinforces the connection between our mental state and our physical and emotional reality. A chaotic mind creates a chaotic life. After this sobering diagnosis, Patañjali offers a beautifully simple and profound solution. The primary antidote to all these obstacles is eka tattva abhyasa, the practice of focusing on a single principle. This reveals a profound remedy is the practice paradox. The obstacles, doubt, laziness, instability, are the very things that prevent us from concentrating. The solution is the act of concentration itself. Patanjali's message is that patient persistence in concentration is both the path and the medicine for the obstacles on the path. The willful, effortful work of dharana is the way we begin, and it is also the very force that clears the way. With this blueprint, this map of the mind, we see that the path to inner stillness is not about fighting our thoughts, but about a masterful, step-by-step journey that culminates in the luminous, effortless flow of our own awareness.